Hey, I'm Randy Unger, New York City's go-to film enthusiast. Every week I dive deep into the world of cinema with special guests from the New York City film scene. Whether I'm interviewing industry insiders or comparing the latest releases, there's always something for every movie lover. Join me as I explore the magic of film and discover what makes these movies unforgettable. Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is a very special episode of Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. And this is our Under the Radar Spooktacular episode, in case you haven't noticed. Halloween is right around the corner, and I just want to celebrate this lovely holiday with some fine people. Right here is Forrest Bennett. Hello, sir.
Hey Randy, happy Halloween. It's
Likewise.
the most wonderful, it's the real most wonderful time of the year.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And then we have Brian Smith. Hello, sir. And
Yeah, happy Halloween.
yes, happy Halloween. And Erica A. also, well,
Hi,
sort of a fan
Randy.
of
Glad to
horror.
be back.
Yeah, welcome back. I know you're not a huge horror buff, but I know you like Halloween themed movies.
Yes.
So I think we'll have a good discussion, guys. I'm very excited about this. And, we've had some really, really good horror films this year so far. Of course, we reviewed The Substance a few weeks ago. That's probably my favorite of the year. But
Mine too.
yours too, very good.
Same
But
here.
yeah, Brian. But Erica, since well, you haven't, I don't think you've seen The Substance yet.
No, I
Is
know
there-
this year has been highly dominated by horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
Finally,
a great one of the great, probably one of the best years in a while.
Yeah.
it
A lot of good
really,
stories.
it really has. Yeah, yeah.
Really.
Like award worthy. Like, oh my God, chainsaw award worthy.
Yeah, it's like the genre has reached kind of a renaissance in a weird way, and
Mhm.
I'm really happy about it.
I mean, there's always been. I mean, there's always great. I mean, there's always great horror coming out, but I just feel like this year we just got
An
an
abundance.
abundance of
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Yeah.
Uh, Brian, any titles this year other than The Substance that have grabbed you?
I liked In a Violent Nature. I mean, I'm biased because I know the actor who plays the killer in that one, but I had a fun time. I saw it at the premiere earlier this year and it was fun. And I did see Terrifier 3. And as a horror, I would be remiss as a horror fan to say anything necessarily bad about it. I get the appeal. It's not necessarily something I would necessarily recommend to people who aren't horror fans. I think if you have to see the first two and other horror films to really get ready, prepare yourself for something like Terrifier 3. But in terms of what it's doing for the genre and the fact that it's doing well at the box office, I just see the positive in that because I hope that it inspires more practical effects, more blood and all guts and there's room for it all. There's room for all that sort of stuff, and I think it'll inspire filmmakers, especially those who, if they're not fans of it, then fine, get out there and make something better, make something that you would prefer to see. So I think it'll encourage people.
And I kind of feel like movies like this, like movies like Terrifier, as well as like Skinamarink, kind
Right.
of open the door, continue to open the door for more like really independent,
Yeah,
like horror and independent movies,
I'm
like
Denver.
playing
Yeah.
in like your neighborhood multiplexes.
agreed. And I think the Terrifier kind of introduced a really not, I wouldn't say an original villain, but he was a very frightening villain.
Very disturbing. I think
Yeah.
I sort of feel like he's cut. With Friday the 13th is in limbo.
Mhm.
Nightmare on Elm Street is pretty much dead.
Mhm.
Halloween. Well, who knows when if Michael will come back or not? But I
If
feel
and
like
when, if
Art the Clown is kind of our new boogie. Is kind of the new boogeyman.
yeah, yeah,
We have lasting effect.
yeah,
It's
and,
kind of and
Scary
it's
in 10 years.
yeah.
he's back to making horror sort of dangerous. It has that danger to it. There is the humor to it with the character, but he is a dangerous character. He's not, and the film and the mythology around it, everything about the way they release it and promote it, it has that danger that
Yeah,
I feel like we haven't seen in quite a while.
kind
It
of.
sort of dares you to see it.
Kind of like Pennywise meets the Joker in a weird way, and it works. And I'm a fan. I only saw the first one, guys, so don't judge me.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
But there's some other really good movies. Erica, I know you don't like the gore and the blood, but there
Not
was
so much.
yeah, there was.
I prefer my witch stuff, my vampire stuff, my ghost stuff to be
Mhm.
story based more than chasing down killing.
Right. Here's
I
one.
like Oddity. The Oddity was this year, right? That's more cerebral. I mean, it's creepy, but check
Mm.
that one out.
Actually, did you guys get a chance to see Stream?
I
I
Stream?
haven't
did
seen it yet.
part
No, no.
Oh, it was
part of
so
it.
good.
I went just to more
Cool.
see what everyone looked like.
Did I review Trap with you guys? Any of you?
No, I don't think I even
So
saw that yet.
that's M. Night Shyamalan's most
I think
recent.
we reviewed it. I think I was
Yeah,
on
I
that.
think it's not a
Yeah,
horror film, but it is a very good thriller, and I think it really grabs the audience and makes you really interested in what's going on here. I think with horror movies or movies in general, it's all about the character. You have to care about the character on their journey, and a lot of the
yeah.
horror films of this year have featured very strong main characters. I would
I
say,
was Sydney Sweeney and Immaculate.
yeah,
Oh,
that,
yeah. Can't forget the Nun movies. Immaculate and First
Implementation.
Omen.
I would even mention the X trilogy. I think Maxine was pretty good.
Yes.
It wasn't as good as Pearl and X, but it was still a very strong film, I'd
Yes, I
say.
agree.
And Mia Goth was just fantastic as the lead, and that one stuck, really stuck in my mind. Um, Erica, any thrillers that have caught your attention this year?
This year, I've mostly seen them, and when I go, oh darn, this is a thriller week, not something to go to the movies for.
Okay, that's a good.
You know me, I prefer my period dramas and sometimes my romantic comedies and my anime and sometimes an action movie, but not when it's like overly pathetic, which too
Right.
many of them are. Me and my sword, we were always up for a little action,
Excellent.
ready to
Excellent.
slash anything that comes near me.
There you go. Don't mess with this woman.
But
Uh,
anime horror sometimes pulls through more than I'd find live action horror. From
now,
Vampire D to Helsing, sometimes, some of it does pull through better for me than the live action plot of your traditional horror thriller type movie.
Gotcha, gotcha. Oh, also, guys, it's fairly new. Came out, I think, like a week or two ago.
Smile 2.
Smile
I
2
just saw that
Oh,
the other
yes.
day. Excellent. One of those
Okay.
horror sequels that
surpasses the
surpasses
original.
the original.
Nice. Yeah, that's on my list. I didn't see the first one, but
Oh,
It's also
see
another
the
good
first one.
character-driven horror movie to come out this year.
yeah. There's also
Definitely see the first one, Randy.
Cuckoo
yeah,
was excellent.
Cuckoo was good.
Long Legs was disturbing.
Oh yeah, I would see that just for Nicolas Cage, but I hear very good things about that. We've also got Afraid with John Cho, which was I think it's about AI terrorizing a family. So that's
That sort of came and went.
I want to check that out.
yeah. And Brian and Forrest, we reviewed Alien Romulus, which was
Yes.
a lovely return to form in the Alien franchise, I'd say. It's kind of a combination of the original and the sequel.
I mean, it is set between both movies.
Yes, it's an interquel. That's what they call it.
Or midquel.
No, it's called.
Definitely heightened the horror on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another film with Kit Harington called The Beast Within, where I believe he played a werewolf, which was okay.
Oh God, wasn't that? Oh, never mind. I think thinking of another movie with Natalie. Had another Game of Thrones actor in it.
There's a lot of good titles here.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about with the other Game of Thrones actor.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it was Natalie Manuel.
I actually looked at it. Or for him.
This was it still is a very heavy horror thriller year for film. Some really interesting.
I saw the TV Glow. That was excellent.
Wow. That's an A24 release.
Yes. It was kind of, I don't know. It was kind of like, I don't know. It was to me, it was like David Lynch and David Cronenberg wrote a queer love letter to Nickelodeon.
Oh, that's so weird. We also have
funny you bring up Nickelodeon like that with everything.
We also have
and it does have cameos from Danny Tamborelli and Michael Morona from The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Okay.
So.
What else do we got? We've got a few here. Yeah, Long Legs would be. Yeah, I need to see that. The Front Room, Never Let Go. It's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's still to check out. I still haven't seen Quiet Place Day One.
Yeah, I started watching that. It wasn't that great from what I saw, but whatever. Brian, any other titles for you, or anything coming up that you're looking forward to horror wise?
Oh, Heretic.
I guess The Wolfman.
Okay, yeah, it's from the same
Wolfman.
director of The Invisible Man, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this one looks more like a contained Wolfman story, like a take on the story. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess
More in like the real world, which was kind of cool.
Or I say modern times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's contemporary, but it's like I think they're sort of according to the trailer, it looks like they're trapped in a cabin with the father after he's ill. It almost looks similar to the Kit Harington one, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Right.
plot was like I was like, huh, that's interesting.
So is this Blumhouse's attempt they're basically trying to build that monster universe, kind of reflecting Universal monsters?
I think they're doing like one-offs to see where it goes because the Dark Universe has tried so many times, it
I was
feels
going to
like,
say like three,
to
four
get off the
times
ground.
already.
And it's just,
Probably.
yeah, it hasn't happened yet. So I think they're just trying to do like, you know what, let's just see what happens and, maybe do like an Unbreakable type of thing where it's
But
not necessarily an official tie-in,
Mhm.
but we'll see if it's a hit enough and then we'll sneak it in later. But right now, I don't think they want to announce a major, universe until they see it works. And right now it's working as standalone films, so we'll see.
I really do like that idea of making it the Unbreakable type of universe, which spans almost 20 years. So that's
Yeah.
like true dedication from the director and the producers and the
And
writer.
this was the year I finally got to see Unbreakable. I finally got to really watch it and appreciate it. So, I was happy about that. It's a really good movie. Really good movie.
definitely one of M. Night Shyamalan's his better movies.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we
He's very,
Trap, we did a little retrospective of Shyamalan's work, which was actually one of my favorite episodes of the year, and we really delved deep into the man's filmography, which was great because he has a lot of underappreciated gems. I'm gonna say that The Happening, I enjoyed The Happening, even though nobody else does. I thought it was decent. The only complaint for me, I think they should have switched Wahlberg with John Leguizamo. That would have made things a little more interesting, in my opinion.
Oh, I would definitely would have watched. I would have loved that. I would have loved that a lot more.
Right? Thank you.
Leguizamo might agree with you. He's
I
very outspoken.
Erica, are you a Shyamalan fan? I don't remember.
sometimes. I was about to say, his movies are so strange. They're either really great or they're complete misses.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have a favorite in mind or something
Um,
is at the top of
I
your?
do, but I can't think of the name. And you know how I am, where I make you guys guess and try to describe it. So I'm not even going to try.
No, describe it. We have time.
All right. I don't. It's
Come
where
on.
he. No, I can't because I'm going to describe it by what they wear, and that's a terrible idea.
Is that the one in the
Oh, The
olden
Village?
times? The Village?
The village they had the creatures or sort of they're sort of creatures. They have like
Yeah,
this.
they're sort of maybe. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. The village
And
was
I'm
deep.
like, they're wearing the things and they're not really what they are. And
Right. Yeah, I think that's The Village.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Brian, remind me, what is your favorite Shyamalan film?
Well, The Sixth Sense is what I first saw, in the theater, and that was really great. And then again, like I said, I didn't catch up to Unbreakable until all these years later for the episode, so I was pleasantly surprised by that. So I would say that those are honestly, my two favorites.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything else I sort of everything post Sixth Sense, you're always sort of waiting for the twist, and you feel like,
Mhm.
is he painting himself in a corner, and is it going to work? And sometimes you get to when you hear his dialogue, you sort of hear the writer side. You don't hear like a character so much, and it gets a little clunky as it goes, and plot. I don't know. It's weird.
In a
Like
way,
you
that's
can.
also the brilliance of it, isn't it?
Well, I think it's almost like he's calling back to like the Twilight Zone era, that
Mhm.
that sort of thing where it has that sort of
Mhm.
formalized way of speaking in terms of his characters, and they're all sort of it's everyone's saying their ideas. Like The Happening is a very good example of that. Like it's not a great script. But the characters are all sort of they're talking about the plot. Everyone has their point of view, and they're all speaking it in the dialogue. And if you watch it from like a Mystery Science Theater riff tracks way, it's like wow, this is clunky dialogue and that sort of thing. But I think that is kind of his style. It just like when it hits, when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it's fodder for riff tracks. It's interesting. He's an interesting writer. He does have a singular voice. I think maybe if he had someone to sort of read his scripts and a little more and say no, or maybe change things around. But
Nice.
I don't
Okay.
know. Not to slam him. I'm not here to slam him.
No,
Let's talk Halloween. Let's talk Halloween movies.
interesting take. Yeah, let's go back a little bit further because you guys know I'm a huge 80s buff, and
Mhm.
I think the 80s had some of the most fun interesting horror movies and characters there are. Obviously, Halloween, the movie that kicked it all off in 1978. Michael Myers has been terrorizing people even today for over 45 years. Wow, damn.
46 years.
Yeah, there you go. And
Yeah.
yeah, we just had the trilogy conclude a few years ago.
Two
Yeah.
years.
But yeah, Far, since you're right next to me and you're wearing a great shirt,
Yes.
what would you say is your favorite installment of the Halloween franchise?
Oh God, the original.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right.
it's one of those movies. I mean, to me, slasher flicks had already been around for a while.
Yeah.
By the time it was made, so it wasn't the first one, but it definitely, I feel like it perfected the genre.
Now, aside from
and
I mean, the original obviously is iconic, but there's been a bunch more after that.
right.
What would you say is your favorite sequel, reboot, requel?
I would say, yeah, this franchise has been rebooted so many times, like
Yeah.
retcon and rebooted so many times. There's quite a few sequels I enjoyed in the franchise.
Right.
The second movie, actually, the second, third, and fourth movies,
Yeah.
H2O, 2018.
Yeah. All good. And yeah, Michael Myers is a fantastic character. Like, you want to know what's happening behind that mask.
Right.
But,
I mean, it's like, it's kind of hard to imagine. At this point, I mean, the mask is basically his face.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what's what's underneath it.
Now, why haven't we had a Jason versus Michael fight?
No, don't give them any idea.
I mean, well, first of all, Freddie and Jason are both owned by New Line Cinema.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't know. I don't think it works.
You know it's going to happen.
I don't think it works. Although I don't think it works quite the same. Like it would work the way Freddie and Jason did, because Freddie and Jason dominated the box office throughout the 80s.
Right.
Whereas Michael Myers, like, when several, was put out of commission for most of it.
Like 6 years.
Yeah, because there was like 7 years between him. He got basically got turned into a hot dog.
That's right, 7 years. You're right.
He basically got set up on, he went down in flames in the second movie, and there was about a 7 year gap before they brought him back. But it was like the late 80s by then.
Right.
And also because yes, also, so I'd say studio rights plus Freddie. Freddie has a face and a voice.
Right.
Jason, he's just he's a brute. He's
a zombie. He's
a zombie.
He's an unstoppable zombie.
He's an unstoppable zombie. He doesn't talk. I think I don't think that dynamic works as well when you pit two silent killers, silent mass killers against one another.
They're too similar.
Yeah.
Clash. It wouldn't really. Yeah, I get you. Erica, do you have I mean, I know you don't like horror, but if you could pick something in the horror realm, something maybe like
one horror movie that stands out to me, I think I was telling you not that long ago, was the movie that I don't have a name for it. They're all trapped in this house that's trying to kill them. It's Catherine Zeta-Jones and it's
Haunting.
Owen. Yeah, what was it?
Haunting. It's a remake.
Yeah. That one I don't mind, and I also don't hate Anaconda, the original, not all the awkward sequels that were made with
it. You mentioned both, because both movies, Owen Wilson dies in those.
Yes.
It's weird.
Is there? Wait, I'm trying to think. Is there like a trilogy of? Because there's Anaconda.
There's a third, but I've said that I think I enjoyed Owen Wilson as a horror character more than as a comedian.
It's kind of that surfer dude who gets killed.
But I feel like there's got to be a trilogy of Owen Wilson gets killed in a horror movie. Is there like one other movie that can?
There is. That one actually is more of a West Coast one. Who else is in it with him? I'm trying to remember. I believe there is one more.
Hold on, I'm gonna Google.
Okay.
Owen Wilson horror movies.
Yeah. That is a trend I have found with horror movies. It's like, oh, I enjoy watching Owen Wilson die, I guess.
Wow.
He's in the Haunted Mansion, it seems.
Maybe he is, but
Haunted Mansion. Isn't that, you mean like the Disney movie?
Yeah, a few years ago they tried a second time to remake it.
All right.
But if we're talking Disney, I think Halloween Town did spooky better than trying to remake the Haunted Mansion again and again.
Yeah. So far I'm just
I fell asleep on the Eddie Murphy one.
I'm just seeing Anaconda and The Haunting as two movies that he was killed in. I'm trying to think anything else.
Yeah.
I want to see before Anaconda.
You know what I think you're thinking? I think you're thinking of, it's not a horror movie, but Armageddon. He died in
Was he
Armageddon.
in Armageddon?
Yeah, he did.
I have tried to like blot that movie from my memory,
It's
but
pretty terrible. It's sad too because that's the movie Michael Bay followed up with The Rock,
I know.
Mhm.
which is one of my all-time favorite action
I
movies.
don't think Armageddon is really that bad.
It's really
It
stupid.
has its moments.
Deep Impact is a lot better, actually.
Okay,
But Armageddon might be more fun, so I'll give
that's
you.
what I find. Armageddon is more
I'll
fun.
give you that one. Brian, favorite franchise for you, horror-wise, preferably from the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Halloween fan. Halloween, obviously 1978, but in 88 was my first theatrical Halloween 4. That was the first time I went to go see it in the theater, and so Aliens and stuff that year, but that decade. But I would have to say, in terms of like the films that I return to that I can just throw on and have and enjoy, the Paramount years of the Friday the 13th series, like one
Yeah,
through
I
eight.
agree. I
I can just I have that I have the Blu-ray set, and then I've after 8 I can just follow it up with Crystal Lake Memories, and it's like having a horror con in my home, and it's just something about it. Just it's like I call it a warm blanket of a horror franchise because the
yeah.
characters, the premise, the plot. It's just the same stuff. And I mean, when you think back on it, yeah, it was it's not as they're not as violent as the Terrifier movies. They're violent, sure. They're hack and slash killing movies, but I think there's something I don't know. It's just almost looking back on it,
Hallmark.
something wholesome about them.
I would say
Uh,
Hallmark. And looking back, it's kind of like it's Hallmark horror.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you get to know the characters. They're either by the time you get to 5, they're all terrible people, and they're all gonna die. So you just know the
Yeah.
premise and the
No,
setup. They're just gonna get killed.
I
Doesn't
would.
that take away from it that it's just you just know they're going to die? There's nothing to wait for.
It's
I
just
think
fun.
because
yeah.
they're
You want to see how these terrible teenagers and 20-somethings are going to get killed because they're having sex or they're doing drugs.
Or they're just total cartoon
Yeah,
characters.
they're
the
begging
total cartoon
God.
characters. He's going to show up. I'm not rooting necessarily for Jason, but there's a safety there. But I think that's why when you
But I
look at
mean,
a
I
Terrifier movie,
understand.
there's a danger there.
And
But from I
I'll
Know
also,
What You Did Last Summer to Scream
Oh,
to
that's a good one.
Friday to any of
There,
them,
there's
it's
a
always
scene.
the same game, and that's why I'm like I'm not that big into horror because I always feel like there's nothing to wait for.
I
There's
think it depends on the franchise. It depends on the franchise, though.
It's a franchise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt like something
It's,
like Evil Dead or Phantasm,
yeah.
where the creators have where there's a consistency with because there's a more unified vision from guys like from creators like Sam Raimi,
mhm.
Don Coscarelli, or like Don Mancini with the Child's Play franchise.
Yeah.
There's a singular vision, so there's a lot more quality control,
Yeah.
and
I do like the Scream series as well. I do want to throw that in
yes.
there
I
because I
like the
think
Screams up until Scream 4. I think after that they kind of jumped the shark a
See, I
little.
felt so for me, I felt like the first two were excellent. Third one was terrible.
I didn't think it was
I think
terrible.
it bounced back. I think it kind of bounced back with the fourth one, and I really enjoyed the last two.
I didn't think 3 was terrible. It was kind of just average and lukewarm. In
it
my
was kind of watered down because there was like I guess was that post Columbine? It was like real life violence or something that
Yeah,
had
Columbine
hindered it.
happened like a few months earlier.
Yeah,
So
everything
they
got a
yeah.
little touchy at that point in time. So
Also,
The
I
thing
want to
that
touch.
keeps the thing that keeps that series continues to keep it fresh for me are two things. It's the opening kill because that has been like a mainstay of it, and also just the way they market it. It keeps you guessing. So I'm always every time they announce a new Scream film and we know they're survivors, I'm always on edge every time they announce a new one because I'm like, oh man, can't they just have a life? Can't they just someone's in danger now, and that just breaks up the anxiety. So I think that's what keeps that series kind of fresh, and it's always one step ahead of the audience. But uh, yeah, I think the 3, I agree with 3. It was kind of like there was something that was the climate had changed, and it was a different writer behind it, so it was a little
Yeah.
more of a Scooby Doo tone to it. It's not great, but it's got some quotable moments and stuff. But I think it really picked up once we got back to like Scream 5 and 6. The brutality. I think they had to sort of compete with what was going on. Especially with the
My
Terrifier.
favorite is probably part 2.
Two was excellent.
Yeah, I think the
He's
killers.
great, yeah.
And guys, spoiler alert! If you haven't seen this movie, it's over almost
Well, don't
30.
spoil it. Well, that's
Yeah,
however
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to do it.
Timothy.
Because there are people on YouTube, like first time watchers, they're reacting videos. This is all, I guess, because it's October. There are people watching Scream for the first time, and I'm like, man, I feel old.
Yeah, I know.
But
It's going to have its 30th anniversary, I think,
but
next
I
in
would
2 years.
say it might be Timothy Olyphant's best performance in Scream 2. I thought he was a fantastic killer. He was very
Mm.
charismatic, very interesting, and
Well, but
his pseudo team up with
Right.
Laurie Metcalf.
he's
Actually,
spoiling it.
It's a spoiler, I know.
I would say Laurie Met. Actually, but when Laurie Metcalf turned out to be one of the killers, I'm like,
Yeah.
Jackie's one of the killers.
Right. It worked
But
for me. It was really interesting to watch.
the only issue I had with where the Scream character killers went, where they were all sort of playing Matthew Lillard. They were all trying to they were all trying to reach that
Yeah.
level
To the
of
top.
manic.
But they
Yeah.
were all
Yeah,
trying to
like
reach it. It was so iconic. That's why they started the whole parody franchise of scary movies.
yeah, and they
Right.
basically did what the Airplane movies. It was just they took the actual script and they just
Or
humored it up.
Loaded Weapon, or so
Right.
Yeah,
Hot Shots. That was a time of parodies. That if
yeah,
you were big enough, you got to have someone mimic you.
So,
yeah.
guys, we just have a couple minutes left. I just wanted to mention another random franchise. It's just two movies. Well, technically three, but The Fly, which has some of the most disgusting imagery I've ever
Oh
seen.
yes.
The makeup and practical effects are so gross. It's just Erica, steer clear of The Fly, 1980.
Actually, I know
86.
that movie. I don't find it as upsetting as some things.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say watch The Fly. It's like one of the to me. It's like if when someone asks me like what's my favorite my favorite rom-com,
Uh-huh.
that's usually my pick.
The Fly?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And The Fly 2, 1989. That's a good one too.
That,
I like The Fly too. I saw that in the theater with my mom, which was awkward because
I
that was one of
I would say watch The Fly too if you want to cry. If you want to,
Oh, yeah.
if you're a dog lover and want to cry, then don't watch The Fly too.
Exactly. It's really disgusting, really disturbing, and
That
yeah.
one is more disgusting, in my opinion.
I
All
think
right, guys.
part two is where my crush on Daphne Zuniga began, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fly two. Mine was Spaceballs.
I don't think I saw Spaceball. I think I saw Fly 2 first, and then I saw Spaceballs. Yeah.
But actually, I can quit back to the Scream franchise.
Yeah.
I will say, Scream 4 is where my crush on Emma Roberts began.
Oh, well, there you go. All right. Well, that's good. And we are about out of time. Forrest, do you have any plugs right now?
I got a new shot on horror movie that shot on video slasher flick that I'm in that called Pizza Guy 8.
Okay.
That's out.
Good. All right. Looking forward to seeing that. Brian, anything for you, sir?
Yeah, the New York City Horror Film Festival is coming up in December. Find us nychorrorfest.com. The tickets and passes are on sale now, and the program's out. So, we're making our selections and in terms of like screenplays and things, but the program is out in terms of the films, and we have some cool special guests to keep an eye out for. So, yeah, follow us online.
Awesome. And last but not least, Miss Erica A.
No, nothing right now. I was just glad I found a day that I could come. I've been so busy with everything. Nothing is at a point to plug or anything.
All right. No news is good news, I guess. And as for me, you can check out new episodes of Under the Radar every Monday. It's on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. And also, new episodes will also appear on SiriusXM through Slam Radio, and that's every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And something else I wanted to mention, guys, is the Village Parade this Halloween. It'll be in the Village in New York City, and I will be there with the New York City Ghostbusters, proudly marching. And it's just a wonderful event, just marching with so many hundreds of people, thousands maybe, who, just great costumes, cosplay, and we're just marching and just having a great time. So that'll be Halloween night, this Halloween. And look for the Ecto One, and you'll see me. So I want to thank my guests today, Forrest Bennett. Thank
Randy?
you. Brian Smith, thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Forrest and Erica A. Thank you. And I want to just wish everyone a very safe and happy Halloween. And I'm Randy Unger. This has been Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. Any questions? We'll see you next time. Take care. And guys, I also want to mention this Saturday, November 2nd at 7 o'clock p.m. is Scares for Cares, a very special Halloween charity event. Admission is $50 for food and drinks. There will also be, raffle, costume contest, dancing, It's a really great event. One of the actors from the original Ghostbusters will be there, Joe Cirillo, the pencil neck cop, and it is going to be great. It's at the St. Mary's Maristella Knights of Columbus at 78 Hempstead Avenue, Lynbrook, New York. Again, that's 78 Hempstead Avenue, Lynbrook, New York, this Saturday at 7 o'clock. Great event. Hope to see you all there.